Right, that looks better. Good morning to everybody. This is Jenny at Gemini Crafts. I'm based in a little market town called Brackley in the centre of the UK. Welcome to my Facebook Live this morning. If you're watching live, feel free to comment and interact. I'll just make sure my comments are working. If you're watching this on replay, you won't see the little red live symbol, but you're still welcome to comment. But obviously I won't be interacting with you directly. So, morning. So we have Carol and Carol. We have Jill, I can see, and Lynn, Tracy, Baz, Jeanette, by the looks of things. So quite a few. Thank you so much. This is a much better way round. Babsy, Tara. Right, so this week I was going to start a new thing called Stamp of the Week, Stamp Set of the Week. And I decided that this was going to be my Stamp Set of the Week. Mainly because it's featuring in my class in a box, which runs for bookings this week. But I was torn because I wanted to use this set to carry on with the projects that I started on Friday. So this is what I did on Friday. And because I got it literally out of the box and had a go. And there's so many things that you can do with this set, especially with the matching punch. So I thought, oh, I'm torn because I really want to use this as well. So I decided to come up with a perfect pairing, which is a combination of two stamp sets that will work together really well. So we have Jar of Flowers on the right hand side here, which you can see is exactly what it says. It's jam jars or vases, whatever you want to call them, and 4 different sets of flowers, but there's no sentiments. So I decided what I wanted to do was add in a sentiment set. So this is the sentiment set, which is also the one that's featuring in my class in a box. Kate's kind of here. Brenda, hi Brenda, lovely to see you. So I thought I'll put the two together and come up with a perfect pairing system where 2 stamp sets go together really, really well. I'm mainly using this for the sentiments at this point, okay, but I'm going to do something else with them later in the week. And then obviously here we have the Jar of Flowers. So this arrived literally half an hour before I started my live on Friday. So straight from the box we did these two, well I did these 2 cards here, just literally stamping the vase. This one hasn't got the stalks and this one has got the stalks, and I stamped on the inside and also the envelope. Let's get that one out, so the matching ones. So there we go, matching envelope for that one and for that one. So it's really following on with that theme. The other thing I showed you is what I do with a new stamp set, which is to stamp all of the images out and just have a little play to see how they are, you know, how they work. They do look different when you've got them stamped out. So what I thought I'd do this morning is just concentrate on these floral images to show you how you can make a completely different card that doesn't have the jar element to it. So I've got my mat underneath and a piece of small grid paper. Got my blocks at the ready. So what I'm actually going to do is stamp these flowers across the bottom of a piece of card and make it look like almost like wildflowers. So I've got a choice really of any of those. I'm going to start with the no, I'm going to start with these. See the right one. Here we go. This one here, they're sort of poppies come roses. One thing I do like about these stamps here is that now we have the index printed on the back of the sheet of paper, so that you can literally just put the stamps back on there and you haven't got the spare piece of plastic. So there we go. Let's grab a block. Tara's starting to love these. Just about fit on there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, let's start with a small one. I'm going to start with this one here. Now I'm actually going to stamp the sentiment first, so that I know how much space around I've got. And because I'm doing on a note card sized one, I'm just going to use a fairly small sentiment, which is "You Are So Special." This one would also work because it's quite short, because obviously I haven't got a lot of space there to play with. So I'm just going to stamp this one. Sorry I haven't put the index on the back. And I'm just going to stamp it in Early Espresso. As you know, it's my favourite go-to all-encompassing colour instead of black. I'm actually going to colour these in with blends pens again. So I'm just going to ink this up. Sorry, this one's just off the edge. Just going to see how. Okay, that's perfect. Let me move myself around so you can actually see what I'm doing. There we go. So just going to stamp this at the top, like so. Perfect. And then I'm going to take my flowers. So this is the sort of roses, poppies, whatever you'd like to call them. And I'm actually going to have them coming off the bottom, like so. So I've got one there, because I want that main bit to be in the centre. And then what I'm going to do is just sort of fill in the gap at the side. So it is at a bit of an angle, like so. And do the same on the other side. Oops. Like so. So now you've got a nice line of flowers that could just be as if they're in the garden. You can see that like that. Okay. Tara's standing in the post office. Oh, if I'd known. Hi, Christine. I could have given you my parcel. Okay. So there we are. So what I've done is I've stamped this one here and just made it run across the bottom. And then it just gives the look of, you know, a garden of flowers, hopefully. So I'm just going to colour those in quickly, and I think I'm going to do those in poppy reds. So I've got a light and a dark poppy. Hope you can see that because the sun's come out. A bit of green for the leaves, and then I might do a little bit of blue for these little, I'm not really sure what they are, sort of, well, there's a mixture of berries and things in there, isn't there? So I'm going to pick out the leaves first. Now I'm not going to do this in detail because this is not a colouring exercise for you. So this is light old olive. And I find it easier to pick out the leaves because they're a bit easier to sort of spot, and then you know that everything else mostly is greenery, is flowers. Like so. There's one in there. And there. I think that's all the leaves. Obviously I could go back in, I won't do all of them, but I could go back in with a darker ink here, you know, make them a little bit more interesting. Like so. And then just go over that. Blend that centre line in. So this gives a really different feel to the vase of flowers, doesn't it? It looks completely different. Let's do a little bit of blue for these. Is this dark or light? Dark. Oh, I'm going to go with dark. I was going to do light, but we're here now. So I'm literally just scribbling, for want of a better description. I hope everybody had a nice weekend. I was busy with my buy one get one free. So thank you to everybody who visited my shop and took part, grabbed themselves a bargain. I think that's those. And then I'm just going to do them. So actually these look, this is a rose and these are poppies, but I think I might just do them all poppy coloured. So I'm just using the darker poppy red in that centre. And then I'm just going to go over it with the light. I am going to make these all the same. There we go. I think that's it. And then the rest I'm just going to literally go over with the red. Oh good. Yes, I love early espresso. I use it, you know, more than anything else, I think. Very rarely use black unless I'm doing a lot of watercolouring, but now we've got the saddle brown ink for watercolouring. So literally just scribbling over, leave a few white patches to make it look like the lights caught it. Make it look like I'm expert watercolorer, which I'm not. Okay, and if I've got an odd bit here and there, just going to fill that in there. So this is my kind of colouring, my scribble colouring. So obviously, you know, you could take your time and do that much more accurately, especially if you're using one of these, for example, where you've got lots of different flowers. So you could be, you know, as adventurous as you would like. Okay, that's it. There we go. So quick and easy. Let's see. I have some background layers, and I'll pop that on a note card. There we go. An envelope. So really simple card. So I've got early espresso here. We put the white card underneath. Or Mossy Meadow. I think I might go for Mossy Meadow. I could go for Poppy Parade. Yeah, they've kept the settled brown ink in, but it's there's been some delays on getting it in, Christine. I do have mine, but I got mine in the very early days. So I think I'm going to do that combination, like so. And I will stamp the inside of my card while I'm here. So just going to pop that on there. Take the same stamp and just stamp the top. So it's going to be that way round. I could do all across the bottom, that would be quite effective as well. I'm not going to colour this one in, just going to leave that plain, because as you can see on the back of here, the Stampin' Blend's ink comes through. It's designed to do that because it soaks into the paper really, really quickly. So I'm just going to leave that like that. Do the same with my envelope. So if you like, you know, quick floral cards, this is a great set. I might do them right the way across the bottom of the flap in the same sort of way. So making sure I'm coming well off the bottom edge, and then just sort of angling up in the gaps. There we go. So that's the back of the envelope. That's the front. Let's pop this bit of card together. Oh yeah, sepia coloured ink, that's nice too. I often use like a crumb cake or something. It depends on the watercolour, doesn't it, of course. So I'm just going to use some green ink. Green ink. Oh. Okay. Some Tombow green glue. I don't know why I call it green, it's because the pack's got green on it. It's not green at all. Sorry about my Cassie dog chattering away. So I'm just going to fold my card, use my bone folder, make sure I've got a nice crisp edge, because these note cards are thick whisper white, so make sure I've got that the right way round, and then that was going to go on the front. And I could add a few embellishments, which I'll go and grab. We have in our embellishment kit lots of packs of different embellishments, and I'm thinking actually that the little red rhinestones, which you would normally use at Christmas, I think would go particularly well on there. So there we are. You're so special. There we go. Let me just grab those. See what I've got. These green ones from the Pretty Peacock would work. That would pick out the green, wouldn't it, that I've got on here. I've got large red ones. That's real red. But the Poppy Parade would be better. I don't think I have any in here. Or you could use sequins or anything. Some lovely new embellishments. So I'll be using those over the next week or so. So let's just pop 3 on here. 2. Oh, that pinged off somewhere. Oh, as did that one. I'll find them all later. Right, be a bit more careful this time, Jenny. There we have it. So there's our first card. Okay, now my thank you, Monica. There we go, there's number 1. Right, let's do this on a slightly bigger scale then. Let's move it up to a standard card size. There we go. So looking at your images and using them in different ways just allows you to get more out of any particular stamp set. Right, let me clean that one off and let's try. I do love these sunflowers, but I'm also thinking this double set here would work, so let's try that first. So here's one. So these are both quite tall, which I thought would go together. Right, let me just see if my lovely dog needs to go out. Bear with me 1 second. You can carry on chatting. There we go. I'd obviously shut the back door inadvertently. Okay, so what have we got? We've got this one here with the mixed flowers, and then I've got this one with the little tulips and things. Just going to put that on at an angle so it fits a little bit better. And remember, I'm going to take it off the bottom of each piece. So let's see how we get on with this. So I think what I'm going to do is stamp one. Let's see how we're going to get 1, 2. I'm going to get about 4 in. So I'm going to stamp this one off centre. I don't want it to look too repetitive. Okay, so there's 1. Let's try the next one. So I reckon these will butt up together quite nicely. So I'm just angling that, hopefully. Yep. There's a bit of a gap there, but let's see how we get on. I might put this one a bit closer. And the thing is, you can angle them as well, so it's not too, you know, so you get a different sort of look. And then this one, I'm going to do this one again here. Like so. There we go. Now what you could do, if you wanted them really close together but not overlapping, is you could use a post-it note and mask that off. So I think what I'm going to do, because I don't like that big gap there, is I'm just going to create a post-it note and then stamp in that gap. I could have closed in a little bit better, to be honest, but you don't know until you try. So that was the first, you know, the first time out with that one. So let's just stamp this here. So I'm going to cover that bit up and then stamp the other one. So what I'm doing is putting the sticky side right on that edge. And this is the tulips. So if you weren't worried about the gap, then you wouldn't need to do this. But I just want to show you how to fill it in. You could just colour in a bit of green if you wanted to, or a little bit of blue. So all I'm going to do is just cut along this edge here, and just cutting inside of the lines. Because if I just stamp over it, it will just, because it's an open design, it will just sort of obliterate it. So let me see. I think that will be enough. There. So what I'm doing is putting the post-it note over just to protect it. And I'm only going to stamp really in this section here. Let me turn this over so you can see a bit better. There we go. So if I was doing this again, what I would do is just stamp that one a bit closer, or mask that off to start with. But this is just how to get round it if you needed to know. So I'm just cutting fairly roughly around the edge there. So that I can literally just cover that area up and stamp something in there. Okay. And I think what I'm going to do is just stamp that very, let's see what looks best. Yeah, that's a bit too busy, isn't it? So I think what I'm going to do is just stamp that very top little bit there. Let's give it a go. Okay, so I know that the rest of that is covered up. There we go. Let us see if we filled in the gap. There we go. Filled it in. Will do nicely. Okay, so I'm going to add my sentiment on now before I colour. So I can use one of the larger sentiments from my Tasteful Thought set. So I've got Just Saying Hello, which actually would fit in there. All the good things in life are better with you. I'm thinking Just Saying Hello in that little bit there. Would work, wouldn't it? So I have put the label on that one, but not on any of the others. How weird is that? Okay, let me grab that. So did everybody manage some crafting at the weekend? The weather was quite good for crafting because it was a bit wet, showery. So I managed to get out in between the showers mostly. So my sentiment is going to go in there. And again, I'm just using early espresso. Obviously you could pick up one of the colours when you've coloured it in. That would also work if you wanted to. Or a nice bold, so Old Olive, or you could use Mossy Meadow, something like that would work. There we go. Just Saying Hello. I do like that relaxed, the relaxed look of that. Sort of fits in with the whole sort of wildflower scene. Okay, so I'm going to do my usual, which is pick out the leaves in green. Now, if I was doing this as a sort of special card, as opposed to one that I'm doing online, then I would probably choose some, some different greens, so they're not all the same. So I'm just picking out. Can you see that? Okay, everybody. Picking out those. This one here, just a scribble. Anywhere where I've got just that little bit of greenery. So this one I can do the same. These ones, the sort of tulip ones, I'm going to do in a darker colour, I think. but I'm not going to do a lot of shading because it is quite a small area, and also you probably have better things to do than to watch me just shading in leaves. Alright, a bit of green here. Stalks, a bit of green in there. Let's do this one here. There we go. So I've got some Flirty Flamingo pinks. So I might do those for these tulips. So I've got a light and a dark, as I usually have. So our blends are now all sold in the combination packs. So Stampin' Up did offer them separately, but I think they found that most people, and certainly most of my customers, were buying them in the dual packs anyway. So, and it's a lot easier from a stock point of view to have two together than lots of individual ones. These are sort of poppy-like, aren't they, there? Okay. So again, just literally scribbling over with that. And obviously you just choose whatever colour suits you. And let's do these little ones pink. Like so. Right, let's have these poppy ones red, I think. So I've got a light and a dark poppy. Let me just scroll up. Oh, well done, Christine. Hi, Verity. Hi, Ruth. Maureen. Lynn. Any reason why there isn't a bumblebee? I have no idea. No idea. I don't think there's any of the new colours in blends, is there? I don't think so. It's just a shame. Although, no, I haven't looked actually. So if you've just said that, that makes me believe that the other colours are available. I had to look through to see what else I needed to order as new blends, and that was the only one that came up, but I didn't turn the page. Any more of those? That's the sort of poppy one, isn't it? So I've just done that the wrong way round. That was the light and I wanted the dark. Sorry folks. There we go. So the nice thing about these scenes is that you can literally just scribble over them, like you saw me doing with the other set. If you have plenty of time and you love colouring in, you'd have a great fun doing these flowers individually, wouldn't you? There we go. Let's do the dark green for those leaves there so that they're done and out of the way. So when I'm doing a bigger area leaf, I just use a brushing motion, like so. Just fill in a bit there, as you wish. Oh, there's a tulip in there, isn't there? Just spotted it. It was pink, wasn't it? So the lighter one I want. There we go. And then let's just do some blues. I apologise if this is really boring for you. I've got a mix here, light balmy blue and dark pool party. That's not quite what I wanted. But let's just whiz around with this. Actually, these should be yellow really, shouldn't they? But never mind. So again, I'm literally just scribbling. Those all the same. I've spotted a few leaves I've missed there and there. Let's do a little bit of yellow. I do this in just a very pale. Pink. That one's blue. Right, let's just find the last of those leaves and then I'll fill in. Let's add some yellow in. There's a few in here. It's a bit like one of those puzzles, isn't it? Where's Wally? Looking for something anywhere. Any odd stalks? I'm going to put a bit of green in here. So you can be as detailed or as not, as you wish. As you can see, let's grab a yellow. What have I got? Light daffodil tonight, perfect. And dark daffodil tonight. Let's do this. I know this flower is the same as this one, but so I've got a little bit of dark going on, and then I'm going to do these dark as well. This would make a nice frame if you did this all the way around, 4 sides of a large square. You could put a photograph in the middle. That would be really pretty, wouldn't it? Let me just scroll up through. Hi, Julia. Oh, thank you, Lynn. I need to order that. Oh, Melon Mambo, that's what I ordered. Yes, I don't know why Bumblebee isn't. I think it's close to crushed curry. Yes, could be. And we have the daffodils as well, don't we? So thank you for that. I'll add those to my next order. I don't know why I didn't spot that then. So thanks everybody. So it just goes to show, not that I've read that catalogue from cover to cover. I did first, and then you tend to sort of get caught up with doing things, don't you? So good, I've got an order going in today, so I will add that. Right. There we go. Just dotting those in really. As you can see, just not, you know, not doing it in any detail. This would also look quite good if you did a gradient, wouldn't it? There we go. I think that will do. So for that, let me see, I have got a Flirty Flamingo card and an early espresso layer. I think that will do, just as well I used Flirty Flamingo. So let's see how that will look. Yep, I think that will work. and then I'm going to put a few things around. So let me just turn that over to make sure that's clean before I turn my paper over. I can't believe I didn't spot the in colours. How weird is that? Thanks everybody. Appreciate your help. So I'm going to move that along a little bit because there's something odd about that size. Just going to trim that down. So one of those pieces was slightly incorrect. I wanted an even border. Who knows? Who knows? There we go. So I'm going to pop that onto my base card, and I'm going to stamp directly into here. So I'm not going to have an inner with this one. Let's pop this one here. You could do it actually all the way along the bottom. Ooh, shall I? Shall I? Let's find my piece of grid paper. I think Early Espresso and Flirty Flamingo look lovely together. Mind you, Early Espresso goes with anything, as you know. So let us have, doesn't really matter which one. I could do a combination. Sorry, this is if the ink pad is just off screen. So just going to pop this along the bottom. Going to vary the height, make it look a bit more interesting and a bit less like it's the same thing. Angle that slightly, like so. So it's I have to say this is a really forgiving stamp set. There we go. Cover my ink pad up. Sun's come out now, so I hope it's not too shaded for you, everybody. Hi Julie, hi Rebecca, hi Joe. Thanks for collecting those bits this morning, Joe. Okay, so there's my inside. And then this is going to be my front, and I'm just using our liquid glue. Just gives me a bit of manoeuvrability. So a scribble of glue, a bit like my scribble of ink, isn't it? Okay, and then I slide it in from one side, and that moves the glue. And it stops it, you know, if you have over glued it for any reason, it stops that. There we go. So just saying hello. That on the inside. And I better grab an envelope. She says. There we go. And I'm going to do that across the bottom as well. Just because, oh, it's got a mark on it. It's no good, is it? That looks remarkably like a cat's paw print, that did. I have to say. Okay, let me, so I'm going to mimic this inside piece here on the bottom of here. Now obviously if it was raining, very wet, because I'm using Early Espresso ink, this would run. So if you live in a very wet climate, Maybe don't stamp the outside of your envelopes in early espresso. Maybe use Stays On instead. Okay, I wonder if Tara's still in the queue at the post office. Do that. So I'm not going to mask this off. It is just the envelope, isn't it? But I am going to sort of angle it here and there. There we go. So there we are. There is our envelope. So let me show you the final set of that one. So there's the envelope. Here's the card. And then this is the inside. This would make a fab set, a bit like I said with the vase of flowers, doing it that way. It would make, oh, there's another mark on there. Make a really nice set for somebody, wouldn't it? Pop it in one of our acetate card boxes and you'd be good to go. Who wouldn't love to receive a set like that? Okay, I'm going to have one last go because I want to use these sunflowers, but I want to make them look like sort of daisies rather than sunflowers. So let me do that very quickly. So if you've seen what you need to see and you've got loads to do, I fully understand. Oh, morning, Linda. So let us, there's definitely a cat print going on here. So let me find those sunflowers and I want to turn them into daisies. Sort of daisies. There we go. So I'm just going to stamp those across the bottom again. And I think I'll be able to sort of angle them quite well. Let us see. Because I'm working on a bigger sheet, I'm not so worried about my sentiment. There we go. So, sorry that if that's just off the screen. So let us start with this one. It's an angle. This is quite nice because there's like no stalks in this one. And then I could mask that off, but I don't really want to. Like so. There we go. So if I'm turning it, I'm just making sure that I'm not leaving a big gap, or I could have turned that right the way around, couldn't I? I could have done it that way. Anyway, there we go. And so to do those daisy colours, I'm just going to do them sort of pink with yellow centres, I think, like so. So let me just close that up, do a bit of the leaves. So go to the small end. I didn't catch you over the weekend very much, Ruth. I'm sorry, I was busy with my buy one get one free. I can't remember when I saw you. Bit of leaf there. And then where I've got that sort of spray, I'm just going to, this one, one. Okay. I think that's the leaves. We'll soon find out. So I'm just going to do darker pink and lighter pink. So this is Flirty Flamingo. So just going to bring that round there. So just use that brushing movement, so just moving it away so that it gets slightly lighter, as opposed to sort of doing it round in a circle. There we go. So if you're still here, Baz, did you have your curry last night? I know we're all stamping with Karen and you were busy making a curry. There we go. I think I've got all of those. I am going to do this one. I'm going to do it the same. Oh, could be Gerbers. Oh, yes. That's a good point. Yes, that is a very good point. You can sort of make them what you want, can't you? There we go. So I'm leaving a bit of white on the tips. So but yeah, Gerbers, that in yellows, that would be good. Or bright pinks they have, don't they? So the new Melon Mambo, which is obviously taking over from Lovely Lipstick, isn't it? That would work particularly well, wouldn't it? So if anybody else has got this set, do try and make some different flowers out of them. Just going to do these the same. My dog talking to me. There we go. So quite a different look. Definitely less sunflowery, that's for sure. I mean, they do make lovely sunflowers, don't they? To be honest. This is the in sunflower colours. So pretty. Alright. Oh, I needed to put some bling on my other card, I just remembered. Oh, and my centres, that was it. So this is, I wonder if I might try So Saffron rather than Daffodil. Let me just see. I think I have a light So Saffron here. Yeah, it's just soft enough, isn't it? So literally, here we go, scribble. How quick is that? There we go. I could go on and add a few bits and pieces, but I think you've probably seen enough of me colouring in. Oh, Michaelmas Daisies, yes. Magenta Madness, oh yes. Orange Gerbers, yeah. Oh, I love it, you lot. Obviously you've got some keen gardeners here, haven't I reckon. So, if you do make some other ones, then I'd love to see them if you've got this set, or if you've got something similar that you want to use. Obviously it doesn't have to be this. Make that a little bit darker in the middles. This is dark, so saffron. I've got a few odd leaves there that I'll go back and colour in. There we go. Pretty. Now you could have that, obviously not quite in that orientation, you'd have to stamp it slightly differently, but you could have it down the side. You could also have it coming down from the top with your sentiment underneath. I'm going traditional today. I'm going to add just saying hello, because that's, at the moment, that's just a really useful sentiment. You know, you could send it to a very close friend, but equally you could send it to somebody that you don't know particularly well, a neighbour or something. Left or right? I'm just feeling there's a nice gap in there, just for a change. Right, it is. If you're all saying left, I'm sorry. Okay, right, let me mount that up, find some bling, and we're all done. I want this one, I want some bling for this one as well. Let's see what we have. So I have a few pinks left that would work with that one, and either pink or green, or even just some basic rhinestones, some champagne ones. What have I got? I have to open a new pack of basic ones, I think. Ooh, these are, that's the wrong blue, otherwise I'd put those blue sequins in. Right, let's add these to this one. I might go pink with this as well, you know. I've got enough. Let's use the smaller ones on here. 1, 2, 3. There we go. That's that one. And then this one. I'm going to do pink as well, but I'm going to use the larger ones because I've got a bigger area. I know some people do a sort of line of 3, but I'm not very good at getting them lined up. So mine are just going to go here, like so. And obviously you could add a little bit of background here as well if you wanted to. A little bit of texture. So you could use something like this. So I might do another one. I might do a Ruth Tries One Sheet Wonder with these later in the week. That's what I'm going to do. And then that will just bring in those textures as well from Tasteful Touches. Okay, let me just grab something to mount that with. So I do have another espresso, and I'm thinking a light pink would work, or even white, to be honest. Let me just see if I've got a lighter pink to hand. I've got Petal, but that's the wrong pink. That one would work. This is Petal Pink, which is the wrong pink altogether. But this one will work. And this is actually a 6x6 card, so all I'm going to do is just cut that across the bottom. Save making another card up. Let's just do that. And we're done for the day. Well, I'm done here for the day. Right, so I'm going to cut that at 10.5 centimetres. Make sure I'm cutting the right side, and that should be 14.85. So this has come from a 12 by 12 piece of card, which is why it's wider than normal. If you're wondering how come I'm cutting that down and still getting a card. There we go. Perfect. I think that will work nicely. My scribble of glue. Yeah, it's definitely on your list. Oh, hi Pauline. Cheers, Babs. Oh, Pauline can't stop. No worries. She's probably been and gone. That's the nice thing about Facebook Live. You can catch up straight away or later. And then this one will also go onto YouTube as well. So if you want to find me on YouTube, just look for Jenny McCormack. I should have tagged Gemini Crafts on there as well. That's with a J. J for Jenny. There we go. So make sure if you're doing that, your fingers are nice and clean. Okay. Oh, I just found that green. One of those green ones that popped off. There we go. And I think I need sunflowers in that, the daisies, whatever they are, in that corner. Because I do like pink and brown together. Pink and pale pink and early espresso, pale blue and early espresso. Always a good combination. So what do we have? We have these. Daisies come sunflowers. Oh, I wonder if I can turn it that way. No. It's just slightly orientated that way, isn't it? So there we go. Sorry if that's just off the edge of the picture. There we have it. And obviously I can do the envelope to match. There we go, everybody. So let me show you those finished cards. I'll show you what we've used. Let's see. We did 2 of those, didn't we? And 1 of those. Okay. So, our perfect pairing for this week. So my stamp set of the week. Jar of Flowers, which has the matching punch, but I haven't used that yet, so that'll be later in the week. And Tasteful Touches. And this is the one that features in my class in a box. So if you like to craft at home, but you don't like putting all the bits and pieces together, then do opt for my class in a box. You'll get a box through the post that has card bases, it has designer paper, has embellishments, it has die cuts, and then you get full video tutorials for all the cards that I've made. This time round there's 7 different card designs and a bonus box project, and you can subscribe just for a given month, or you can subscribe on an ongoing basis, entirely up to you. And the base class is just £20, and that's posted out to you. Bookings for that finish on Sunday of this week. which I think must be the 14th. So you have a week to consider. If you want any more information, just message me. So this was the first one we did. Sort of making those into sort of poppies come roses. That's the inside, and that's our envelope. And we stamp that across the back of the envelope. This was our second one, using the 2 different stamps, stamping across the bottom. I did a little bit of masking here because I had too big a gap that I wasn't very happy with. Stamp that on the inside. This is Flirty Flamingo cardstock. And then across the bottom of my envelope. And then our final card was this one, which I haven't yet done the envelope for, but I have done the inside. There we go. So I hope you enjoyed those. I shall be back here tomorrow at 3 p.m. and I have changed my Thursday session to be 7 p.m. To catch people in the evenings. I know quite a few people obviously work, and it's just nice to be able to catch people live rather than always on catch up. So Monday and Wednesday at 10 o'clock, Tuesdays and Fridays at 3 o'clock, and Thursday night at 4 o'clock. Thank you so much for, oh Jill, chocolate brown and pink was Kelly's, oh perfect. Yeah, so interesting. Yeah, so the Gemini Crafts came when I was looking for a company name. It was actually came up by my one of my sisters-in-law, Diane, and so Gemini for twins, because I have twins, a girl and a boy, and J because my name is Jenny, so rather than a G. So people do often put Gemini Crafts with a G in. I do apologise. I should tag that really, so that if people do that, it does come up. So the other popular Gemini with a J was a pop group. I don't know if you remember. I've got a feeling they might have done the Eurovision Song Contest, didn't they? Gemini. So that's the only other main J. There's a few other Gemini Crafts companies. But it's just me in this one. So thanks so much for joining me. Sorry I'm waffling now. So I appreciate your lovely comments. Thank you. Yeah, it is really, just really nice set. And it's funny because I didn't opt for this set to start with. This was, you know, sort of on my maybe list. But it's just so pretty. And I just saw these designs really. So I will be using the punch, and we'll also be doing a shaker card later this week as well, and using the little jar domes that you can get with it. So do join me later. Thank you so much for your company this morning. It's time for a coffee and exercise the dog. Look after yourselves, take care of each other, take care of yourself, of course, and just keep crafting. Stay safe, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Bye-bye.